Good morning, marketers, privacy nerds, and people still pretending that they haven't tried to snoop on their ex via Spotify. Welcome back to Marketing News, where we love data, but we love good marketing even more. Today, privacy leaks, VPNs go mainstream, and Swift is a fiance and a podcaster. Let's go. A new report just dropped that exposed the deepest, darkest secrets of some of the world's most powerful people. Not their tax returns, not their emails, something far more intimate, their Spotify playlists. The Panama playlist leak claims to expose what politicians, big bosses, and media moguls are really listening to. And boy, they blew this case wide open. Spotify has over 615 million users with 80 million playlists set to public, a goldmine for marketers and hackers alike. It makes me wonder, how careful are we with our data? Now, some of it tracks. JD Vance is into 90s boy bands, Pam Bondi, she's bumping to Nelly's Hot in Here, and Al Roker has listened to Philadelphia Freedom 151 times in 2025 so far. As for you guys, we asked around, how embarrassed would you be if your playlist leaked?
If my playlist leaked, I would be slightly embarrassed. One time I thought I had my headphones in the gym and I started rapping along to it, not realising people could hear it, and yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
If my boss saw my Spotify Wrapped, they'd say I'm eclectic because I mix electronic music with classic music. Weird.
And maybe if more staff knew about their boss's Coldplay crush, some HR problems could have been avoided. Let's move on to our marketing barometer. First up on the barometer, sitting at the very top, what everybody is talking about, the biggest rebrand and merger we've seen this era. Taylor Swift is now a fiance and a podcaster. Following the news that her 12th album will be released this October, I predict we might see a whole new side to Taylor. Forget the old school Oprah sit down, this showgirl is all about cozy chats on the couch. She kicked things off with New Heights, her fiancé Travis Kelce's podcast, and it crashed YouTube with 1.3 million live viewers. That's more people than turned into the last presidential debate. Democracy may be shaky, but the Swiftie fan base is rock solid. And you can see why this works. The podcast industry has grown to over $2 billion in ad revenue, and Swift's 1.3 million live viewers on YouTube tops last year's largest podcast premiere by 35%. Podcasts feel safe, no hostile questions, no hardball follow-ups, just soft lighting and plush furnishing that makes it look less like 60 Minutes and more like an all-night sleepover. But this is more than just a celebrity sharing good news. This is a masterclass in building a media empire, and it follows a playbook perfected by another superstar, Reese Witherspoon. Remember, Reese started a book club, which on the surface is a community for readers, but strategically, it's a genius data gathering machine. She gets real-time insights into the reading preferences of millions of women, and then her production company used that data to acquire the rights and produce blockbuster movies and TV shows. Could record-breaking Taylor Swift be making a similar play? After all, she sold an incredible 34 different variants of her 2024 album. These versions, with unique cover art and different vinyl colours, aren't just a way to dominate the charts. They're a way to collect priceless data on what her fan base prefers. I predict she's only going to get bigger, especially if she releases an exclusive vinyl with the bonus tracks of The Vows, Taylor's version. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce managed to focus on his engagement for a whole 24 hours before going back to work as the face of some very spicy American Eagle sweaters. Next, Uber is finally rolling out a preference where women can request female drivers for their own safety in US cities. It's been tested abroad, launched in Saudi Arabia in 2019, and now it's stateside. Uber's woman driver feature rolled into 15 major US markets, aiming to tap into the 60% of female users who say driver gender impacts their sense of safety. Women account for nearly 48% of Uber riders in the US, yet only 20% of the drivers. Rollout of the woman-to-woman matching feature aims to close the safety gap, addressing thousands of reported incidents and unlocking long overdue growth in female driver sign-up rates. So credit where it's due, Uber gets extra points for trying to improve customer safety. Now, in not such hot news, those meddling kids in the UK have found a way around age verification rules, VPNs. Since the new legislation came into place, downloads spiked 1,800%. Half of the top 10 free apps in the UK are VPNs. The number one, Proton VPN, leading with 400,000 daily active users. So it's been a big weekend for people pretending to be in Switzerland. And finally, at the very bottom of our barometer, the T dating app drama. T isn't your typical dating app. Launched in 2023 as a safety-first platform for women, it enabled users to screen potential dates, share warnings, and swap information about men they met elsewhere. So less Bumble, more background check. This summer, it boasted over 4 million users, but in late July, T suffered not one, but 2 major data breaches in just 1 week. First, 72,000 images, including selfies and government IDs, were exposed. Days later, researchers found that 1.1 million private messages, phone numbers, and meeting details were sitting in an unsecured database. This wasn't a case of users crying over spilled milk. This leak broke T's core promise of safety, and worse, many users discovered that the deletions they'd requested hadn't happened at all. Thankfully, we've got Barbara here, our legal expert, to give us more info.
If you promise safety as your core principle and then leak personal data, you're not just facing angry users, you're facing regulators. It's a textbook example of how privacy isn't just compliance. It's essential to ensure brand survival.
It's certainly messy. T promised safety, but instead it spilled leaks, lawsuits, and became a cautionary tale for every so-called privacy-first startup. Talk about landing in hot water. So politicians' playlist leaks, tailored pod tours, Uber drivers and British teams becoming international sleuths overnight. That's our roundup of all the biggest marketing stories. Now, if your playlist leaked, what song would end your career? Drop it in the comments if you're brave enough. And remember, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.